You've heard the rule. 1 hour a day, 2 hours max, no screens before age 2. And if you felt guilty every time your child has watched more than that, you're not alone. But here's something worth knowing. That rule, it came from a 1999 policy statement by the American Academy of Pediatrics, based on almost no actual research. The scientists who wrote it have since said so themselves. And in the years since, hundreds of studies have looked at screen time more carefully. What they found is not what most parents have been told. Today we're going to look at what the science actually says. Not the headline, not the panic, the actual data. And by the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of what to worry about and what you can let go of. Have you ever felt guilty about your child's screen time? Tell me in the comments. And subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of thing we unpack here. Not all screen time is the same. Here's the single most important thing the research tells us. Screen time is not one thing. Watching a show passively alone for 3 hours is completely different from video chatting with a grandparent, playing an interactive learning game with a parent, watching a nature documentary together and talking about it. The AAP itself updated its guidelines in 2016 and again in 2020, quietly moving away from hard time limits towards something more nuanced: context, content, and what the screen time replaces. Because that last part, what it replaces, is the real question. The study that changed the conversation. In 2019, researchers Amy Orban and Andrew Przylski published a major analysis in Nature Human Behavior. They examined data from over 350,000 children and adolescents. Their finding? The effect of screen time on well-being was real, but tiny, statistically comparable to eating potatoes, or wearing glasses, or sleeping with a light on. Not zero, but dramatically smaller than the public conversation suggested. Their conclusion was not screens are fine. It was, we have been dramatically overstating the risk, and that overstatement is making parents anxious in ways that aren't helping children. So, what actually matters? 3 things. 1. Sleep displacement. The clearest harm from screen use is when it cuts into sleep. A device in the bedroom at night is a real problem, not because of radiation or blue light, because a child who is on a screen at midnight instead of sleeping is sleep deprived, and sleep deprivation has massive, well-documented effects on mood, learning, and behavior. 2. Passive solo consumption for extended periods. A child parked in front of a screen alone for hours repeatedly does miss out on something real: social interaction, physical movement, unstructured play. Not because the screen is poisonous, but because those other things matter, and hours in front of a screen can displace them. 3. Content. A child watching fast-paced, highly stimulating content for hours is a different issue from a child watching a documentary or a slow-paced story. Content quality and pacing matter more than most parents realize. What you can stop worrying about. Video calling. Research consistently shows that even toddlers can learn language and feel connection through video chat. FaceTime with a grandparent is not the same as passive screen watching. Educational co-viewing. When you watch something together and talk about it, pausing, questioning, connecting it to their real world, you have turned a passive experience into an interactive one. Occasional long sessions. A rainy Saturday with 3 hours of movies is not harming your child's brain. One data point does not create a pattern. The 3 habits that actually protect your child. 1. No devices in bedrooms after a set time. This is the single evidence-based habit with the clearest impact. Sleep is non-negotiable. 2. Watch with them when you can. Co-viewing transforms the experience. Your presence, your questions, your reactions, those are the variables that matter. 3. Keep meals screen-free. Mealtime conversation is one of the strongest predictors of language development and family connection. Protect it. That's it. Not a timer, not guilt, not panic. 3 specific habits with real evidence behind them. How does your family handle screen time right now? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious what's working and what's not. And subscribe, because cutting through the noise on parenting science is what this channel is for. The rule isn't less is always better. The question is, what is the screen replacing and what is it giving back? Answer that honestly for your child, and you'll make better decisions than any blanket time limit ever could. Because when you understand the behavior, you stop fighting it and you start guiding it. See you in the next video.